Hello, welcome to Heritage Homestead. My name is Natalie, and today I would like to show you how I make a very simple recipe to can cranberry sauce from fresh cranberries. My husband and I took an anniversary trip out east, and when we were in Cape Cod, I knew the one thing that I wanted to request to bring back to the kids were fresh cranberries. So behind me in this box is what those are. It's 25 pounds. We bought 2 boxes. When we were hiking, they were just everywhere. There were hundreds and hundreds of fields full of cranberries. So we went during harvest season, so that made it a little cheaper, which was really great. Anytime I can get a deal on that kind of food, it's really exciting. So I know the kids were happy. They love cranberry pie and cranberry sauce. This cranberry sauce can be super simple. You don't have to use any cinnamon or nutmeg or juice or zest or anything like that. You can today. I probably will because I have some oranges on hand, but you don't have to. So I will leave that up to you. You can use my simple recipe with just sugar, water, and cranberries, or you could do honey, water, and cranberries. That's up to you, however you prefer to do that. Okay, we have 25 pounds of cranberries. And again, I'm going to leave the other 25 in the freezer until I'm done with this batch. And then I will get that batch and redo the entire recipe over again. So these are just so beautiful. You can see that. 25 pounds. That's a lot of cranberries. Okay. So what I have here is my Zest, my orange juice that I juiced this morning. And I got a really good deal on this. And so my first batch is going to be with sugar, and my second batch will be with honey. Now, you don't have to use that particular sugar. You can use whatever sugar you prefer. I just got that on sale and thought I'll save that back for my canning day. Okay, so next I'm going to show you all of my measurements and how I do it, but I'm also going to link the recipe below so you can refer back to it anytime you'd like. Okay, so we're going to start out with 2 pounds of cranberries, which is about 8 cups. And I'm not going to get perfect on the actual pounds. I'm just going to go ahead and measure 8 cups. And just for reference, these are still frozen. So you can either use fresh or frozen cranberries. Okay, that's about 8 cups. Now I am pre-measuring my sugar in a separate bowl, and this is 4 cups that I'm going to set aside. And then next I'm going to take my water. This is 2 cups. I'm going to pour it in my Dutch oven. Then I'm going to add my cranberries to my Dutch oven. Oops, had some left. Okay. So I'm going to leave my sugar here. This morning I juiced 2 oranges and set that aside in a measuring cup, and also zest in a separate little bowl. And so now I'm going to get ready to go boil my cranberries. Okay, I'm going to take my lid off just so I can pay attention to when it starts to boil. Okay, so what we want this to look like is boiling several minutes until your cranberries start to burst and pop and be really soft and mushy. And then we know we're going to be ready for the next step. All right, these look really delicious. They have started to pop and get mushy. And now we know we are ready for the sugar. Okay, I have turned the boiling temperature down to a really low boil. And now we're going to, I don't know if you can see this, we're going to add the sugar really slow and stir as you add. You will notice that it gets thicker almost immediately. Has a very, very beautiful look to it. This is my favorite part. Okay, I think we are done with that. And you're going to want to bring that back to a low rolling boil. Okay, I think that these are done boiling. They are very, very thick, so I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat off. Now we are going to add our zest. And our juice, and I saved the pulp because I like the pulp in my cranberry sauce. But you can just use orange juice if you would like. I'm going to turn the heat back on just to get it thickened up just a little bit more. And while I was letting that boil earlier, I went ahead and cleaned my jars and letting them air dry until we are ready to can them. Okay, I'm going to turn the heat off, and it's been on a low simmer for a couple minutes just to incorporate the juice and the zest together. And so now I'm going to heat up some water in my water bath. And then I'm going to start jarring the cranberry sauce. I always run my finger on the top to make sure there are no nicks or any breakage, because your jars will not seal. So I just take my ladle. I don't know if you can see that very well. My jars are still somewhat warm. You don't want to jar hot food in a cold glass jar because that will cause a breakage or a very big crack. Sometimes that gets a little warm. Okay, hopefully you can see that. Oh, I don't think you can actually. Let me show you. Okay. Right up to the neck there. Okay. You want to make sure you leave about a 1/2 inch to 1 inch headspace because you don't want it to overboil in your water bath canner, because once that happens, then you'll have leakage out of your lid and it'll get too sticky and it won't seal right. So make sure that headspace is there. Oops. Sometimes these just get too hot for me to hold. Okay, that's done. Now I'm going to go grab my lids and my rings and we'll do the next step. Okay, I get asked all the time if I use lids, and the answer is yes, I do. But today I'm going to use brand new lids just to show you. Whew, that is hot. Typically, I will dip this in vinegar water and just rub the outside so all of your jar tops are clean where this rubber seal meets the actual glass. And then you just, I'm sorry, I don't know if you can see that. So all I did was clean it, put the rubber seal on top, screw the lid on, screw the ring on, and you are ready to put this in your water bath canner. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and keep putting lids and rings on all of my jars. And then once my water bath is really steamy, this rack is really wonderful because I can put my hot, whatever I'm jarring that day, I can put my hot food right on my rack, and the water temperature is very similar to my food, and therefore my jars won't break. But I have learned that lesson. So if you are new to canning, make sure your jars are tempered before you do this process, because you don't want a cool jar or even a room temperature jar. Sometimes will crack with a different temperature of water that you're getting ready to can. So be careful. Okay, so my water bath is just about ready for my first set of jars. But in the meantime, I'm always juggling 2 or 3 things. So I'm going to be bulk cooking a lot of these cranberries in several different stock pots, because if I don't start hustling, I'm going to run out of daylight. So I wanted to mention that this recipe is as good canned as it is fresh. You don't have to can this. You can use it on your Thanksgiving table and make it the day before, and it'll be ready for a side or a dessert. Now, I do recommend canning because it's always lovely to go to your cellar or your back room or pantry, whatever food storage you have, and just grab it off the shelf. It's a great pancake and waffle topping. We love it as just a dessert if we're having a sweet tooth. We also just enjoy it during the holidays and winter month. It just seems normal that we would pull it off the shelf and even have it as a side dish to whatever we're cooking for supper. So very universal, but again, you don't have to can it. You can use this recipe for your fresh side for any of your meals. So I'm going to go get back to canning, and I will show you that process. And in the meantime, if you see a bunch of stock pots, you know what I'm doing. And now I'm just going to take my jars and put them directly on the rack. Again, this is really super hot water with hot jars. So again, you're going to fill up your canner. You're going to lower it into the water, and I'm going to water bath it for 20 minutes. That's because of my altitude and where I live. So you need to probably check the recommendations on where you live, whether you live in the mountains or sea level. That does make a difference, and it's really important to go ahead and look into that information. But excuse me, where I live is going to be 20 minutes with the lid on once it starts boiling to the very end. So you don't want to start your timer until you actually have a full rolling boil. Okay, I'm going to turn that down just a little bit. They are popping and about ready for the sugar. So for those of you interested in bulk cooking, so you can can a lot in one day, which I recommend. I usually don't can 5 or 6 jars. I can anywhere between, 40 to 100 and some in one day, depending on what it is. So for this stock pot, I'm going to do this in probably 6 or 8 times. But I put 40 cups of cranberries and 20 cups of sugar. I know that sounds like a lot. It's a lot like jam, but cranberries are super sour and they do need a lot of sweeteners. So don't be afraid if you see this recipe and it looks very, very high in sugar or super sweet. It's because it is. Okay, so I put on these beauties. I'm going to lower my rack. I submerge my jars underneath 1 inch of water. I know there are some people that do not, and that's fine if that's what you want to do. I feel more comfortable following the most recent guidelines on that. So my water is 1 inch, at least 1 inch above my ring and lid, sorry. Okay, so at this point, it's just going to sit and wait for it to start boiling. And at that point, I'm going to start my timer. For my area, it's 20 minutes, and I'm going to put the lid on. And when the 20 minutes is up, I'm going to shut the gas off and just let it sit for 5 minutes before I take the lid off and take the jars out of the water bath. Seems to be the last of what I need to get done today. I'm running out of sunlight, so I need to hustle and feed my family. This is the end result of the cinnamon and nutmeg. So I have about 1/3 of orange and zest. The other third is just regular sugar and cranberry and water, and the other one is cinnamon and nutmeg. And so just based on preference, that's how I cook and can my food. My kids really are the ones that I go to and say, hey, what would you, what taste do you like? What would you like different this time? And so we kind of alter our meals based on everybody's preferences. All right, this is the day after we have canned all of our cranberry sauce. And so now I am ready to store them on our shelf. What you want to remember is after you take them out of the water bath, I like to leave them 16 to 18 hours undisturbed on my countertop. And the next day I come and wash off, take off the ring, and then I wash off my jars so nothing is sticky, and I make sure everything is sealed before I put them away. And at this point, you should be able to do pretty much whatever and it stays sealed. Although I don't always recommend that. We're pretty good with our jars, right? We're pretty careful. So do you guys want to go ahead and start putting away for me? Mm-hmm. We're going to put some over here, and the rest is going to go on the other side because we have so many, we don't have enough room, which is a good thing, right? It's a good problem to have.
Because we have too much.
You go ahead.
Well, we have this right because we can eat.
Yes.
And it's yummy.
Do you know the difference? There you go. So what's really important too is you want to label your lids and the date on which you made them, so you can remember.
What's this made out of?
What's this made out of? I'm trying to find the one that is made out of the orange because it's a little lighter.
Yeah, what is it?
With the orange and the orange zest. And this one, and a couple more of these are actually with cinnamon and nutmeg. Doesn't that sound yummy? Mm-hmm. And we have
this one orange.
Yep. Oh yeah, that is. It's a little bit lighter. Can you tell?
Yeah.
I can tell.
But this one's a little light on top too.
A little bit.
Lighter.
Yep. And all of these are labeled accordingly. So, are you excited? Which one do you like the best, cinnamon or the orange?
Orange.
Really?
Orange.
Yeah. Oh, I like the cinnamon. It's so good.
I like the canned.
Yeah, me too.
Maybe I like both.
I like it all.
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's put these away.
Can I put this one away?
You sure can.
Here we go.
Be really, really careful. You don't want to clink them together.
I got it? No, I got it. Okay.
Here you go. Okay, here. Really gentle.
I got the orange.
Right here. Here, so you gotta sit here, right here. You're gonna set it like that. Yep. All right, well, thanks guys for helping, and we will be putting those on the other shelf in just a second. I wanted to say thanks for coming to everyone, and we will see you next time. Bye. Sorry.
Bye.
My hair's all over you.